guys, so it is I, Tartar's Queen Dragoness, once again with another video. It is now back to school season, and children and young adults are going to be coming back to some unusual circumstances, especially when it comes to the state of Virginia, where the school district over there recently okayed a bill that forces teachers and staff to acknowledge transgender students by their pronoun name. This seems silly because, in my eyes, it's bad enough that teachers get a lot of flack for not being teachers, and that there is so much political tensions within the teaching community that adding this type of policy to essentially call Zachary, who now identifies as a female, to be called Rachel, is going to be a thing. And it's ridiculous, to be quite honest. It's ridiculous. Unfortunately for one teacher, based on this article that I found once again from The Advocate, she yelled out, "I quit," during a school board meeting. And dare I say, I quote from the article saying, "I quit your policies, I quit your trainings, and I quit being a cog in a machine that tells me to push highly politicized agendas on our most valuable constituents, the children." She said, "I will find employment elsewhere." Wow, okay, this teacher's got some cojones. Now, at first I thought this was like some sort of political nut job or religious fanatic, but no. I soon realized that the education system, as we all know, is completely broken. It is based on something that was established in the 40s, where corporations were on the rise. However, as it currently stands, the market is highly focused on entrepreneurial standards, or free markets, to which the current education system doesn't really cater to. And it seems totally ludicrous that in this day and age, in this generation, as soon as you hit high school, it turns into a political free-for-all MMA fight. Here's the thing. Schools are established to educate students, okay? Yes, there are teachers out there. There are total political fanatics and sociopathic religious nutjobs. But that's just, a very, very minute set of people, in which the school board would actually end up reprimanding them. But essentially, teachers love to teach students, and that is the only thing that they need to do. Let me reiterate, teachers are there to teach whatever subject the student is interested in, whether it be history, science, math, politics, home economics, woodwork, whatever. And thanks to the instances like that of Columbine, school districts implemented anti-bullying policies to keep from instances like this from repeating, because technically speaking, if you think about it, harassing a transgender individual technically is considered bullying. So, the education system is trying to make it a safe environment for the trans individuals, which honestly, it's already safe enough as it is. What are you doing? So, to add this policy is completely unnecessary. And if other school districts follow this trend, And I have one thing to say to you. You're cuckoo, okay? You're cuckoo. And you thought Woody Woodpecker was cuckoo. I remember back in around 2002 and 2003, which was my senior year in high school, that there was this whole debacle of religion existing in schools, and the whole term under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, which is cited at the beginning of every school day, was considered some sort of religious slur against Muslims and other religions. Here it seems that gender identity is the main focus for creating a positive learning environment instead of creating a certain curriculum that caters to today's way of how the market is. So instead of the under God incident, we now have the transgender incident. And I'm afraid and I'm concerned about the actual transgender youth and young adults who are now going to be the primary target for quite possibly another Columbine incident. Remember that one? Remember that this kid was so bullied that he ended up shooting everybody in the school, or as many people as possible. It seems like the transgender youth is going to end up following that kind of line of thinking if policies like this continue to push forward. Policies like this vilify the transgender youth. It just does. It just boggles my mind to think that these policies are being pushed, unprovoked, mind you, to create a safe working or teaching environment. Yes, I live in Texas, and I'm pretty sure something similar that happened in Dallas during the Katrina disaster, where it turned into a racial WW2, except this time it's going to be affecting the transgenders. And make headlines, of course. I'm not looking forward to that. Seriously, I'm not looking forward to that. So I am here to make a few suggestions for the peaceful advancement of education and to make sure that kids are safe in schools. And this applies to a whole spectrum of people, not just the schools. So this is what needs to happen. Parents need to confront the parents of the trouble-making youth in question to establish certain boundaries. That's the first step. Second step, which a lot of people are probably going to end up getting really mad about or nervous about because they don't want their kids to get hurt. You need to teach your kids a way to defend themselves. Should a verbal harasser become a physical assaulter? By teaching hand-to-hand combat. That's right, you heard me right. You're going to have to put your kid in a Taekwondo, MMA class, Shaolin, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever. Because there's going to be a point in time when your kid is going to end up having to defend themselves. That's phase 2. Lastly, you can have the threat expelled. Did you know that that's a thing? You can have the threat expelled and sent to a juvenile detention center if the harassment continues. Did you not know that? If you did it, shame on you. So those are your options. And there's probably a little bit more that I'm not even thinking about. Policies like this that affect the transgender youth do not need to be included because it's essentially calling attention to themselves and being labeled as high and mighty kings of the school society. Let me give this to you straight. Transgender youth is not more special than special needs kids. Okay? They're not more special than special needs kids. If you think that your child is more special than a special needs kid, you have a problem. They need to fight their own battles. You don't need to fight their battles for you. Using the resources that have been proven to work. I'm kind of glad that I live in a state where policies like the ones that Virginia has implemented get totally obliterated before they even set foot into the school board's meeting room. Because they know it's a dumb idea. So to summarize this whole school year thing, I want to be able to talk to the trans youth about this. Because I think this will save you a lot of grief in the long run. So, here's the thing that I want to say to them. Continue to live like a normal human being. Present who you are as who you are with confidence. Okay? Present who you want to be with confidence. Okay? Trust your friends. You have friends. You have allies. Trust them to help you out in sticky situations. And tell your parents to butt out. Tell your principal or counselor of any harassment or bullying incident that is occurring to you as a transgender child or young adult. That's a resource you can use. And if that fails, you can actually legitimately call the police. Did you not know that? I've had instances in school where kids who were bullied, where a police officer legitimately ended up going up to the kid, putting handcuffs in them, and being thrown in the back of a squad car. This was in high school, by the way. This was in high school. And not only were the kids actually charged with a crime, the parents were actually charged with a crime too, for inciting this behavior. I bet you didn't know that. I bet your parents didn't even tell you about this kind of information that you can do, that you can use. Because I don't want to see any more transgender versus straight person, guns a-blazing, Columbine incident to actually end up happening this year. I really don't. I just want to make sure one thing. As you continue on with your school year and your school life, know that you have friends. Know that you have resources. And use those resources to your advantage. With that being said, I hope you students actually end up staying safe. Stay vigilant and have fun trying to keep your eyes open in that boring, oversized freezer. Yeah, that was a thing. I couldn't even keep my eyes open in a classroom. In a cold classroom. Requiescat in pace. Let the darkness